head of the Istanbul Stock Exchange. That is Huseyin Erkan. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. If I could begin by asking you about the stock exchange. You've really seen great performance this year, about over a 30% gain. Is this across the board, or which sectors are performing particularly well?
Well, I think that the increase started last year in 2009, especially after March. The world crisis have really not affected Turkey all that much. The banking sector was extremely strong. The Turkish banks were already restructured back in 2001, and they had a very high capital adequacy ratio all throughout the crisis. So the rise actually started in the index last year and continued this year as well. So both last year and this year, the Istanbul Stock Exchange have been one of the best performers. As I said, the banking sector led it, and now it's the real sector companies that are really continuing.
And of course, I have to ask you, what are your predictions for the future? Are you looking at the same kind of strong growth next year?
Well, I expect that 2011 is going to be a good year as well. We have elections in the middle of the year, and the economic performance of the country is extremely positive. I think that the first half growth rates in the GDP were as high as 10%, a little bit above 10%. And we're expecting the announcement of the third quarter today. I haven't seen the results yet. And the growth rate for the third quarter is expected to be quite high as well. So I think that this will continue in 2011. The Turkish manufacturing industry is now operating at extremely high capacity utilization levels, and that is really reflected in their operations and their profitability. We expect the year-end profitability of the companies to be high, and that really is sort of seen in the prices, reflected in the prices already. And 2011 seems to be a strong year as well, and we expect the trend to continue.
Now, you had lots of IPOs over the last year, but mostly with small to medium-sized companies. Why have none of there aren't very many of those big privately owned Turkish companies that have gone to the market yet? Do you expect them to?
Well, they've already announced that they will be going public in 2011, quite a few of them. 2010 was a tested year for them, I think, because there were quite a lot of volatility in the international capital markets. Large companies, of course, require very large participation of international investors as well, because the domestic investors will not be enough to buy the public offerings of the large companies. So there were some fluctuations this year. Some prepared, and then all of a sudden there was the fat finger, and then it was Greece, and then it was Ireland and problems in the euro. All these, of course, have affected the decisions of the large companies. But it seems like Turkey has sort of been differentiated. I think that it's stood quite well all throughout the crisis, and the appetite of the international investors is very high for the Turkish companies. So now we know of quite a few very large companies coming to the public, to public offerings within the first half of 2011. It looks like a very strong demand.